You know who's the least selfish guy I've ever met? This cat right here. He's a beautiful, beautiful human being. Mr. Trey Ratcliff. Nice to see you. I thought you lived in New Zealand. What are you doing here?
I brought you a present from New Zealand.
Oh, you did?
You know, I have a farm down there, a little family
Do you
farm.
really? You have a farm in Queenstown?
And I am a beekeeper.
Is this your honey?
I have 250,000 bees, and this is some of our homemade honey.
How do you know how many bees you have?
Well, there's about 50,000 in a hive. It's an estimate. We don't do inventory on the bees.
I love it. Trey Ratcliff, of course, everybody's favorite photographer. His website, Stuck in Customs. This is Stuck in Honey.
Yes.
I love it. Handcrafted artisan. I love honey.
We don't sell that or anything. It's just for gifts for people that we love.
Oh, well, thank you, Trey. That's really sweet of you. And the bees eat thyme, apricot, viper's bug loss.
Yeah, it's a pretty purple flower.
And lavender.
Yeah.
I got to taste. Can I taste it?
Yeah, you can. It's pretty thick. You're going to end up with a sticky finger.
So you're in town, you're in August, you're going to do photo walks all over the United States.
Yes, this is actually a little bit secret, although it's going to be officially announced.
Did I just reveal something?
No, it's all right. We're going to announce it on the blog in the beginning of July. And we're going to do, we're getting like this big rock star tour bus that sleeps like 12 people.
I've always wanted to do this.
So we're starting in New York City.
Yep.
And we're going to hit the 12 biggest cities in the U.S. And we'll do huge photo walks in every city. These are totally free events. You know, the TWiT audience is super welcome. You can come out with me and take photos and get some tips. It's just going to be a nonstop party.
If they go to stuckincustoms.com in a few weeks, they'll have the details there.
Yeah, in early July. We have the whole route mapped out, what cities we're going to be in. Everywhere, New York, Miami, Chicago. It's going to be great.
There's lots of reasons to go to Stuck in Customs. Of course, Trey gives away his photography, puts images up on Instagram, on Facebook, on, of course, Google+, where you just show me you have 85 billion views with a bee.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What the heck?
Yeah, they update it every day. It's just unbelievable. You know, I asked, I said, is this accurate? And they actually keep track of every time their servers have to serve up my images.
So it's real accurate. 85 billion views. Congratulations. But you know why?
It's crazy.
You're an amazing photographer.
Well, thanks. I just love taking photos. Occasionally, I take some pretty photos.
Oh, once in a while. Look at that. Is that China?
Yeah, that's deep in the south of China. It took me 10 years to find that place.
That is gorgeous. Not Guilin.
Yeah. It's near Guilin. Yeah, and that's near the Lee River. That's not the Lee River.
Those amazing little towers of stone.
Yeah, it's karst rock. And it's actually the same thing that happens in the Grand Canyon, but in the Grand Canyon there's no fauna to hold back the erosion. And here, since there's so many trees and like vines and stuff, it holds it together.
They're incredible.
And so there's just a different kind of landscape.
So beautiful. I don't know what we're going to talk about today. I guess the big news I'd like to talk to you about, if you don't mind, is Sony. You're the guy who got me shooting with the A7. I remember when you very famously abandoned your Nikon, your D1, one of the best cameras in the world.
It was a D800, I think.
Well, you had shifted to the D800, right?
Right.
And
I
then
used all the Nikons.
Yeah. And then you said, you know what? I'm going mirrorless.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I got a lot of hate for that article. Actually, that article is now like 2 years old, and I mean, there's thousands of comments and. You know, there's a lot of DSLR people. I don't really mind if people want to use DSLRs. I've just explained all these very cogent, correct reasons why I've gone.
They're correct, ladies and gentlemen.
But I mean, a lot of these DSLR people are like, you can pry this out of my cold, dead hands. And I'm like, well, you know, maybe someone will someday.
You're shooting here the A7R. This is the first, one of the first, there was first the A7 and then the A7R. Releases of this, you can see immediately it's much smaller. You're using a Leica lens on this, and one of the advantages of the A7 is you can use an adapter, and you can use any lens, a Nikon, a Canon, or in this case, the very nice glass from Leica. But I've heard people say, well, Trey's a landscape photographer. Of course he doesn't need a DSLR.
Well, that's of course, a ridiculous thing to say. Because, you know, this camera is great for any kind of photography.
I think
for portraits, for action, for sports. It's unbelievable. And, you know, the neat thing that just happened this week is Sony just announced the new versions of these two cameras. Right. Which are not small upgrades, they're major upgrades.
So the A7, the Alpha 7 series has the Alpha 7, the Alpha 7S, the Alpha 7R, the Alpha 7 II, which just relatively recently came out. The newest one is going to be the top of the line. It's $3,000, the A7R Mark II.
That's right.
Tell me about that. What makes this is not it, by the way. It won't be out till probably next month or the month
Right.
after.
I think I'll get my hands on it next month.
You can pre-order, I think, in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I keep going to B&H, hitting that pre-order button,
Yeah.
nothing happens.
Oh, it's going to be unbelievable. So the A7R, the reason I use this is because it's 36 megapixel, and I just want as much
super high resolution
megapixelage as possible.
Right.
Well, the new one, the A7R II, is 42.4 megapixels.
42.
Just enormous.
But wait a minute, Trey. We keep telling people, oh, don't worry about megapixels because then they get really small, and you're
I
going
don't
to
know. I would keep worrying about megapixels because if you look at like the Retina displays that are coming out, the big displays, there's more and more megapixels that we're pushing into our screens, and you might only be in these locations once, so you want to get as maximum resolution as possible.
There's
the
also,
screens will catch up with it.
I know you don't do this, but for photographers like me, where I often kind of miss the shot or the composition is not great, the ability to crop a high-resolution image down is very nice.
Yeah, you've got plenty of room to crop.
Yeah.
The other great thing about the A7R II that's coming out is it finally has this 5-axis stabilization.
Now, they came out with that. They actually, I guess they licensed it from Olympus because it's in the OMD cameras. They came out with that in the A7 II, and
That's right.
It's pretty amazing.
It's great because it lets you shoot in super low light. It makes all of your lenses, even the Leica lenses, it stabilizes all the lenses because the stabilization's in the body.
So it's not just handshake. Because you've got the stabilization, you don't have to have as high a shutter speed for a low light shot. Is that
That's right. It allows you to collect more light in a more steady way, right? So you can have a slower shutter speed, and you can also crank up the ISO. Like the A7R II goes over 100,000 ISO.
Isn't that going to get
great.
grainy as heck, though? I mean,
it can get a little bit grainy.
Yeah.
But you know, if anyone uses Lightroom, there's that slider in Lightroom. Just drop that right down. And the algorithms are so good at getting rid of the grain nowadays. And also, frankly, the sad truth, you know, is that 99% of people that see your photo are going to look at it like on Facebook, or Instagram, or Google Plus, or whatever. They're not going to zoom in and see the noise. So you have to think about your audience that's seeing it. You never see noise when you're zoomed out. You see that little 480 pixel version. So don't worry about the noise.
So this is your daily shooter right now, the A7R.
Yeah.
You're going to go to the R2, aren't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait for it. It's going to be fantastic.
I use the A7S, which is only 12 megapixels because it's so good in low light. But the other thing I like about the A7S is video, and that's one thing the R2 is going to be stunning.
The R2 does 4K video.
In camera.
In camera.
You don't need a separate recorder like you do with the A7S.
No, it's fantastic. There's a lot of other new features too, like now it has 399 autofocus points. Phase detection system, so it will focus 40% faster than this one.
Wow.
They've also changed the way...
We should point out, by the way, right now, you don't get paid by Sony in any way.
No, I don't.
You buy these cameras.
I get free cameras, but I get free cameras from everybody.
Right.
So that,
everybody wants Trey to shoot
field.
with their, well, I don't get free cameras, and I still buy these because they blow me away. And then the ability to use, say, a Leica lens, which you're doing with the body, I've even seen people say, like Steve Huff, actually, this is better than a Leica body. This is a great body.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the Leica bodies are terrible. I wish I don't know why Leica makes bodies.
They make great lenses.
You know, they've got these horrible German masochistic UIs.
Oh, it's horrible. Okay, good. Thank you.
I don't even think Germans like using them.
I was feeling bad. All right, that's good to know. I'm trying to take the lens cap off. You've got some sort of safety
it's a
on
slider.
Here. Oh, there you go. It's good I didn't pry it off as I was
child-proof cap.
What is this lens? This is child or Leo-proof.
This is the 21mm Summicron f1.4.
So it's wide. This is good for landscapes. This would be great, right?
It's great for landscapes. It's great for star shots. Some of my favorite star shots in New Zealand I've taken with this one.
Amazing long exposures, and you can see the star fields moving. They're so beautiful.
It's great. You know, something I didn't realize is that you can see 70% more of the Milky Way when you're south of the equator. There's just more Milky Way.
So that's why you moved to New Zealand.
That's one reason.
More Milky Way, ladies and gentlemen. That's a good reason to go. Now, the Sony, this is their high-end professional camera, but they also make what many agree is the best pocket camera as well.
That would be this one right here, Leo.
Oh, you got it too. Of course you. Look at that. Look at that star field. That is 70% more Milky Way, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's zoomed in. This is in
this near
Lake
Queenstown?
Tekapo. This is actually a World Heritage Site because the skies are so amazing there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where's that?
It's in Tekapo on the South Island of New Zealand.
Okay.
It's about a 3-hour drive from Queenstown.
You're an amazing man, I tell you.
So I tell you what, this
is the
I love this camera.
RX
100.
100?
100.
And this is the new Mark IV of this. I bought, I think, the RX 102, maybe the 3. This is the 3 we're looking at right now.
And they just announced the 4.
So the 4, what's going to be new in the 4?
Well, 4 is unbelievable. Okay, because they're doing the same sensor stacking that they're doing on the new, on all the Sonys.
Yeah.
It takes pictures at 16 frames per second, which is just remarkable.
So that's like a motor wind, so you can get sports shots or kids.
Yeah, it autofocuses all those shots.
Wow.
I think it has over 100 different focus points. It's super duper fast.
This is also going to do great video. In fact, what did you say, 960 frames per second?
Well, it does
super slow-mo?
It does 4K video by itself.
Yeah.
But also you can go all the way up to 960 frames per second, or gradations of that down, 720,
which would be good for
480.
slow motion.
Oh yeah, it's great for slow motion.
Yeah, wow.
Really fun technique.
So you use both?
Yes, I use this a lot for quick street photography kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This is primarily what I use at Burning Man, by the way, one of these little jobs.
Right. You don't want to bring, it's dusty there, you don't want to bring a great camera to Burning Man, right?
As long as it's not dusty, you can get out your good stuff. But it is dusty a lot, so it's safe to keep. It's got this amazing viewfinder. Sony has the most incredible technology here.
Now, this is one thing I hear people say they don't like about mirrorless cameras is you're looking at a video tap instead of the optical. Is this an optical viewfinder? What
no, it's a video viewfinder. So you're seeing, it's digital. You're seeing what's actually on the sensor. But
oh, that's interesting. The sensor is the camera.
Yeah.
Ah.
And it's the same way on the Sony A7.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
And so I think it's fantastic. All these people that are like, you know, they prefer optical. I think they're a little nuts because you're actually getting to see what the sensor is actually seeing.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm able to get much sharper photos with this because I can zoom in and I know that it's in focus. There's no doubt in the world. And I found even with my Nikon, my good Nikon systems, you know, you're optically focusing off the mirror, but then when the mirror pops up, if your sensor is just like half of a millimeter off, you might be a little bit soft. Like I got soft photos with my Nikon quite a bit.
That's the bane of photographers because while it's all about composition, light, color, you also want the technical aspects to be correct.
Right.
And anything that's soft focus, you're going to lose the picture.
Yeah. That's right. It's so frustrating to come back with a soft photo. And every one of my photos with this thing has just been sharp as a tack. I'm able to zoom in and make sure it's good.
So the A7R Mark II is going to be a good choice. And this, you have the RX 100 Mark III, but we're going to look at the Mark IV. How much will that be?
I think it's only $1,000.
Only $1,000. Okay.
We actually, on our, people ask me all the time what camera to get. And
for anybody that doesn't want to go pro, this is a great choice, right?
Yeah, we have some camera recommendations on the website. We have it like good, better, best. You know, the way Montgomery Ward's used to sell like washer and dryers. So we have good, better, best at 3 different price points.
So I follow Trey, as you all should, on Facebook, on Google+, on Insta. Your Instagram stuff is great, too. I didn't know you did Instagram until you were on a couple of weeks ago.
I do them all.
Yeah. The website is Stuck in Customs, a great place to go to learn HDR photography. He's got a great HDR tutorial. Learn about the Arcanum, which is the and really interesting. We talked about it last time you were on. School for masters and apprentices.
That's right. We call it the Magical Academy of Artistic Mastery.
I love it.
And, you know, Catherine Hall was just here. She's one of our masters.
She's a master, yeah.
And it's really fun because you come in as an applicant, you just want to get better at photography, right?
Yeah.
And you fill out this really fun form on the website, and then you kind of sit there in a vat of holding, that's what we call it, like an orphanage, until a master comes and selects you, right? So it's really cool because masters get to actually select who they want to teach. Every master picks about 20 apprentices. And then you start leveling up with all your apprentices. It's sort of like a game. You have quests.
I need to do this.
Man, it's great fun. You get critiques. It's
You've
incredible.
got some of my favorite photographers, not just Catherine Hall. Lisa Bettany is a master. Who else is a master on there?
We have all kinds of people, and people serve in various roles as masters.
There's some of the masters on the screen for those of you watching video.
Yeah, and you never know who's going to choose you. It's great fun. Everyone has something to learn. Everyone has something to teach, and
very nice.
We really feel like we're redefining photography education. We've got about 800 apprentices in there right now. People are loving it, so we're super thrilled.
Well, photography is my favorite thing to do when I'm not doing this, and you've been such an inspiration and a great friend. And I know you had pneumonia. You're feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm about 80%. I was just in the hospital a few days ago, in fact.
I know.
But I was like, I got to go get on Leo's show.
I can't believe it. He was. And Lisa said, well, no, he's in San Francisco. I said, no, he's in the hospital in New Zealand right now. I saw a picture of him and his daughters.
Yeah.
And but so you're feeling better though. Please don't.
No, I'm feeling better.
You got to take it easy.
You know, we should have talked about this before you kissed me.
Is it communicable?
Yeah.
Trey Ratcliff, ladies and gentlemen, stuck in cut. There you are. I love that picture. You do look.
Sweet
I felt like, oh, Trey does not. He looks sad and unhealthy. But at least you had your family with you, and I'm glad you're feeling much better.
Oh, you know, when the kids are around, it always makes you feel better.
I know, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Well, everybody loves Trey Ratcliff. Are you playing? I see. I'm just looking at the notes, and of course, I did not follow the notes. You're playing with the Phantom. The DJI Phantom.
The new Phantom 3 is incredible.
Are you drone photography too?
I do it all. I love the Phantom.
Well, come
that
back
thing is
and
amazing.
talk about it, will you?
Yeah. The Phantom 3 is insane.
Look at that shot. This is in the Forbidden City, right?
I got arrested in China for taking this. It turns out
they
that
thought you were a spy.
It's called the Forbidden City for a reason.
Yeah, you're forbidden to shoot Phantom shots there. That was a beautiful shot, though.
Oh,
that was a beautiful shot.
I've always wanted that shot because you can't get up in the air in China. There's no helicopters. There's no private helicopters. So the only way to do it is just you gotta ride dirty with a quad
and get arrested.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm glad they let you go.
Just a short detainment.
That's my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Trey Ratcliff, StuckInCustoms.com.